from the love of liberty in the fires of hope and prayer. With boundless faith in our destiny, we solemnly declare. Side by side we stand, islands of the blue Caribbean Sea, this our native land. We pledge our lives to thee. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation.
Heavenly Father, we come before you at the start of this new day, giving thanks for life, for health, and the opportunity to serve through this station. We ask for your divine presence to guide us in all we do. Bless this broadcast, that it may be a source of inspiration, joy, and unity to all who tune in. Whether near or far, may our words uplift, our music heal, and our message bring light to those who need it most. We pray for our listeners wherever they may be. Grant them strength for the day ahead, peace in their hearts, and success in all they put their hands to. Cover those traveling with your protection and those at home with your comfort and provision. Lord, may everything we do bring honor to you and be a blessing to others. Guide our steps, bless our efforts, and let this station be a vessel of positivity and hope. In your name we pray. Amen.
Your voice, your soundtrack, your station. New Era TT Radio, NETT Radio.
Porque mis calzones tienen 45 botones. ¡Chupa! El maestro que me enseñó bien enseñado, me dijo que no cantaré con ninguna revetelao. El maestro que me enseñó bien enseñado, me diga que no cantaré con ninguna reveselao.
Little
soy una mujer que canta cuando que me dé la gana. Yo tengo palabra completa y besa yo la romana.
Lelolai, lelolai, lai, lelolai, lelolai, esta noche tan sabroso. Lelolai, lelolai, lai, lelolai, lelolai, esta noche tan sabroso.
Camina pues.
Wake up, rise up. It's the NETT Radio Breakfast Show, bringing you the energy, music, and vibes to start your day right.
Arriba. In true Trini lingo, they don't lie, they don't lie. We just drink your rum and go home. Good morning, everybody. Yeah, no drinking this rum this morning, but good morning to you, and of course, welcome to it wherever you may be, Trinidad, Tobago, up and down the Eastern Caribbean, or you're streaming in your spaces around the globe. We welcome you to the beautiful, gorgeous Twin Island Republic of TNT, as we welcome you to New Era TT Radio, NETT Radio, the heartbeat of the Caribbean, where we take you above and beyond. It's a beautiful day. God bless day, a new day. Some new things will happen in this space. So I want to give God thanks and praises, as always, for bringing us together for another day. And all that we do, dear Father, let it be a blessing unto you. Sir Charles, that is me. Happy am I to be in this space as we wake you up every morning, because this is your Get Up and Go to welcome everybody to the breakfast show.
Wake up, it's a brand new dawn. The breakfast show got the vibes turned on. From Maracas Bay to the Savannah line, let's start the day in Caribbean prime. Good vibes rolling through the air. The breakfast show, energy everywhere. We talk, we laugh, we make you think. Grab your doubles or your morning drink.
Well, good morning to our listeners and viewers wherever you are across the planet, and welcome to the breakfast show on this Tuesday morning. And of course, good morning to my co-hosts Wendell and Sir Charles. Good morning, guys.
Good morning, Richard. Good morning, Wendell. Good morning, everybody in your spaces where you are. Thank you very much for being here.
Yeah, good morning, Sir Charles. Good morning, Richard. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. And good morning, listeners and viewers all over the globe. It's Tuesday morning in Trinidad and Tobago. It looks like a clear morning so far. Hopefully it will remain that way. Condolences to those who would have lost loved ones, and I actually know someone. But happy birthday to Councillor Adana Gordon of the San Juan Laventille Regional Corporation, Anne Marie Watson, better known as Miss Maloney. Happy birthday, Miss Maloney. Salma Hussein, old schoolmate, Pedro Arre Akila B. She is, okay, I think I know who that is. Noreen Jackman, Barry Williams, Winston Burke, Dane Archibald, lots of birthdays today. Karen Rosales, Yola Roach, Vitus Myers, and of course, Councillor Malua Bourne of the Port of Spain Corporation. She is also celebrating her birthday today. Today is also Chinese Rose Black. What's his name again? He's from St. James. Hey, I can't remember his real name. Andre Barnard is also celebrating his birthday today. Lots of birthdays today, December 9th. I don't know what happened 9 months ago. 9 months ago as well. March? April? March.
Yeah. After Carnival cool down.
Is that right?
The after Carnival cool down.
Easter or something. I don't know where we are. But a lots of birthdays today.
Or the Lenten period when you don't have no activity outside, so you're home.
That is it, Charles. That'll be pre-Lenten, because if Easter didn't go as yet, it wouldn't be Lent as yet. No, Easter is the end of Lent. So Lent is Carnival. Yeah. Yes, man, it's Lenten season.
Carnival, that period.
Right,
Carnival and Easter.
It's Lenten season, because Lenten season comes right after Carnival. So it is Lenten season. That's it. You hit the nail on the head there. And apparently a lot of people back then. You have good news because I one of the I have to give all the two stories about two people that made the news yesterday that I know personally. But it's not good news, but so I'll let you do good news first.
You want me to go ahead and do the good news?
Yes, please.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, man. Pan man extraordinaire.
Ain't nothing like the sweet sound of steel pan, eh?
Yeah. But he's doing it at each of the 7 wonders of the world. So I know he did it on the Great Wall of China already. He did it in front of Christ the Redeemer in Brazil. And he is now doing it at Taj Mahal. So I mean, maybe I might do the Christ Redeemer one. I don't think we did that one.
But you know, he reported an experience.
I did the exit from the Great Wall one already, but he did Christ the Redeemer too.
You know, he reported an experience out there in Brazil on his page.
Yeah.
Where they snatched the phone.
Where they snatched the phone. But that happens in Rio, eh?
It happens all over the world.
Pockets and snatching of phones. And some European countries who are like Greece, they warn you about it.
That's what I'm saying. It happens all over the world.
Yeah, in Rome, they warn you about it too. Pickpockets and stuff like that.
Yeah. It's the biggest, how should I put, hindrance to tourism in most parts of the world, because a lot of tourists have their phones out because they're filming or videotape, doing whatever they do with their phones. So it's the biggest hindrance to tourism all over the world, snatching of phones. Yeah. But it's lovely. That was Joshua Reguero, of course, Guinness World Record holder, playing sweet pan, and he always plays pan like he thoroughly enjoys it. You can just see the joy on his face.
Yeah, he always exudes joy.
Yeah. That was all good news this morning. But two incidents happened recently.
Before you go on, man, just before you say that, I forgot I had a birthday today. Today's Nicholas Sabero's birthday. I want to say happy birthday, Nicholas. I hope you have a fantastic day today. Of course, you may know Nicholas as one of the younger actors that we have in RSRR Productions. He would have been in Married and Mischievous. He would have been part of the younger couple together with Carl and Nicole. If you saw Married and Mischievous, he would have been in that. And he would have been in your Love is a Walk.
Yes.
Which many people know and find out that love is really a walk. And Sir Charles, and Love is a Walk.
Plenty walk.
So, he was also in Love is a Walk. He was the young man who liked to take old woman home. So,
I could add so much adjectives to after love, is a shame.
So today is Nicholas's birthday. So if you see him, tell him happy birthday. Happy birthday, Nicholas.
Hey, Nicholas, have a great day, man.
Happy birthday, Nicholas. I saw him in an ad that looked like it's by you. Recently, there's a new ad on television.
Yeah, he's in a new ad with
Yeah.
Which
they jump in a pool, not so?
I think so.
And I say that looking like by Richard.
Me? No, it wasn't by me.
Okay.
No. I don't know what that was. I forget what it was. What they were advertising though. I saw it last night.
I can't remember too. Only last night I saw the ad for the first time.
Yeah, I saw it during news. Was it Christmas related?
I think so.
I can't remember.
Yeah. But somehow the other when I saw the ad, I said, but that looked like by Richard too.
No. That wasn't by me.
All right. Anyway, there are two sad stories that made the news yesterday. I know they're going to come up when we're doing the news, but I wanted to speak about them because, as I say, I know the two people personally. One is with the death of the 56-year-old woman who was found dead on a pavement in St. James, Nicole Ovid. So condolences to that family. I knew Nicole. You know what I mean? Most of us who grew up in St. James and who around St. James knew Nicole. So, but the circumstances surrounding her death is just so strange. The report is that police are investigating the death of a 56-year-old St. James woman who was found unresponsive on a pavement early Sunday morning, shortly after a man walked into the St. James police station and admitted involvement in an altercation with her. And I know him also. The deceased has been identified as Nicole Ovid of Romeo Street, St. James. According to police, around 5:15 a.m., first responders taking a report from a 54-year-old ward attendant, so it indicates a third person, who said Ovid had been involved in a physical altercation with a man known to her. While the report was being recorded, the man, identified by police as a 60-year-old of Maraval, entered the station stated his name, confirmed that an altercation had occurred, and made several utterances. Officers found the woman lying on the northern pavement. Now, the story is very kind of confusing because it clearly couldn't have been on Romeo Street because Romeo Street have no northern pavement. Romeo Street have an eastern and a western pavement. So it has to be on some other street in St. James that they didn't name in this article. But I haven't gotten all the details on it, but I just wanted to say that I knew Nicole and condolences to her family, on her untimely passing. I really can't say what happened there. The other story, of course, is the kidnapped victim, Derek and his wife, Claribel. Well, I knew Derek Tardier very well. I mean, we lived next to one another. He was married to a family that still lives in the same space, right next to where we grew up to. You know what I mean? And I would see him from time to time. I know his children. I mean, and I know Derek. Derek might be a local white boy, but Derek ain't nothing like don't act nothing like a white boy. Derek is as rootsy and as down to earth as you could find. You know what I mean? And he was always into fishing and sailboats and down the islands. Derek's name was always associated with down the island. A lot of people would know him as Stone. You know what I mean? Because he was hard like stone. That's how he used to come across. You know what I mean? And when I saw that kidnapping yesterday, I said, well, why? I mean, it's kind of strange, you know what I mean? But hopefully they find him, he and his wife, you know what I mean? And we come to the end of that. But as I said, he is someone I know also personally. So it was a bad day for St. James because we're talking about Romeo Street, between Romeo Street and Lockport Street where I grew up. Those two incidents happened. So a lot of St. James people know those people. You know what I mean? So St. James was not, I guess, in a very good mood yesterday. You know? So hopefully that the kidnapping will end with a good result. You know what I mean? Nicole has passed, you know, so it was just so sad hearing about those two stories yesterday. You know?
Well, the kidnapping was certainly the number one news story last night, because remember the Commissioner of Police has been on record saying that there is no uptick in kidnapping, even though the perception seems otherwise. Let me put it that way. The data, he may be correct with the data, but I don't know if he is or not. But certainly the perception is that there is an increase, because you had the recent kidnapping and murder of what was the gentleman's name? Was it Alala? I think I can't remember.
Right,
a businessman. I think it was in Shogunas.
Yes.
And then you have this latest kidnapping, which happened on Monas Island, apparently, because they said the house was ransacked, and there's a video that's circulating where he's under captives, where a gun is being pointed at his head, and a guy is holding a grenade next to him. And he obviously is in a state of great distress. You can see it on his face.
Yes, you could see it. Yeah, and here
great distress. It's a disturbing video, and it's making the rounds on social media with regard to it. But I'm hoping that the TTPS gets a handle on this. Well, the TTPS has a lot of their elite units are working on this.
Yeah,
and hopefully they make some inroads, you know, into finding out who did this, hold them accountable, and get him and his wife back safe.
Yeah,
that's what Trinidad and Tobago would want. You don't want anybody to, you know, to meet any, you know, injury or possible death in situations like this. You really just want people to be released unharmed.
Yeah, I know that last evening too, there was a Facebook post saying that he was rescued, but that turned out not to be true, because a family member confirmed that yesterday also too, that was not true. You know, so it's a sad day when people, because Derek worked hard. He worked very hard for what he has achieved. You know what I mean? I mean, I haven't spoken to him in a while, but still. I know him from nothing, you know, just fishing, down the islands, you know. So, you know, they're saying it could possibly be an inside job and whatnot, but you know, you can't trust when you have workmen and so on, and you're associated with so many people. Sometimes you never know who's looking at you, or who marking you, or who's trying to set you up. I've been through that before.
And they interviewed people on news last night from Tadio Marine.
Tadier.
You know, so is it Tadier or
Tadier? Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it's Tadio. But anyway.
Well, it's the way it's spelled, but it's pronounced Tadier.
From my French, it would be Tadio.
Yeah, it's Tadier. They could pronounce it
Trinidadians probably kind of creolized. It's like how we like to creolize things and say Tadier.
We always said Tadier.
We call it Tadio. It's too difficult to pronounce. Anyway, so they did interview people at that marine where he owns, and he's the landlord, I guess, because a lot of them were tenants and they were very disturbed.
Yeah.
And you know, and so they interviewed a couple of them. Not all. They spoke to some who didn't want to show their face at all. But I mean, you didn't hear them. They just told you what they said. But they interviewed one or two who were willing to come on camera. So, but I was certainly the number one news item last night on I think most news stations. And it is very disturbing, you know. And the video is making the rounds.
Yeah.
You may wonder why we don't show some video like that. Some videos you just want to show because it's just too. You know,
it's very emotional. It's a very emotional video.
Yeah, and it's, you know, a horrible, distressing video. To me, I find it distressing.
Yeah. But you know, you mentioned something there, Wendell, and that is the stark reality of where we are at, the whole tone of the country. Because if you are doing stuff now, you have to be very careful who comes into your home to do. If you're doing any sort of repairs, renovation, anything, you just can't bring people into your space now. So it's making it because of what it is, and it's making it very even difficult for legitimate people to carry out business now. You know.
Yes, you're right. You're right.
I'm looking at social media and stuff like the marketplace and stuff. People who genuinely started out and have things to sell and that sort of thing. It's finding it very difficult now because people are afraid to respond to some of those things.
You're right, you know, Sir Charles, and that reminds me. I engage people on social media from time to time who are selling something or offering a service that I want or I'm interested in. But I mean, I am aware of what happens, that some of these people are up to no good, or they're scammers or whatever. So the other day, not too long ago, I saw this person selling these canvas photos. Really nice. I saw these things abroad when I went, and I saw this person selling. I said, oh, locally available. So I engaged the person. Of course, it's via WhatsApp. And the person said, okay, they need a name, my name and address. Of course, I didn't put my correct address because I wanted to be sure, right? And then the person said, okay, someone will contact you today. I said, by the way, what is your name? Because you know mine. I said, what is your name? The person gave me his name. You know what I mean? So I was still skeptical. So when this person asked me to send a location for where I am, of course, I ain't doing that. You understand? So eventually the morning, someone contacted me and said they have a delivery from so-and-so place, right? And I said, how is the payment done? Cash or links? They say either way. I said, okay, fine. And then they said, could you let me know? I say, here what? I gave them again a wrong address. And I said, you know what? I will drive to that place. I would prefer them not come home, man. I would go to that point and meet them. Eventually, they called me video. I said, why are you calling me video? You understand? So anyway, but all went well. All the nerves I had with that transaction, it went well. I have the items. I paid and I was thankful. But it's not the first time I would have engaged someone who I know nothing about on social media to get something that I want. I have to admit, but I am also very mindful that some of these people are up to no good. And I'm saying that so that people will also know that they also need to be extremely careful how they engage some of these people and be very certain. You understand? Don't give out your bank information. Don't give out your correct address. If you want to give out business, give somewhere else they could meet you or whatever. You understand? And make sure you have a backup plan. You know, but I'm saying that I try my best to support some people with what they're doing, because some people are really trying out there to make a living. You understand? But sometimes, some of them up to no good, So that's my story.
Yeah. Anyhow, let's greet the people before we go to the break.
Yeah, of course, this morning we can start with Manuela Peters at 5:27. Nobody got up early today. My husband Willis and I celebrate 47 years. Whoa. Manuela and her husband, Mr. Peters, celebrating 47 years anniversary.
Husband Willis.
The husband is Willis. Oh, yes, the husband is Willis. Manuela and Willis Peters. Willis, you deserve a trophy. Even a bust in your honor. Somewhere. Marlon Motley says good morning. Norris Ferguson also says good morning. Diane Payne, Erica Charles, Kenny in Harlem, Michael Cadet, Sherwin, and Juliet Kerr have a tenacious Tuesday. Carol Guevara, Odell Guy, Kathy Ann Charles, and Arlene out there in Bronxville. Debbie Modest, Ian Stewart, Slick Money Grip, Bernadette and Alicia Yates, Garvin Frank, Merle McComey, haven't heard from you for a little while. The Slimy Show. I wonder where we get these Spanish traditions from. You asking that question, Slimy Show. What do you think? Lambert Bruce, Dave Gosine. Okay, Slimy Show on to being mischievous this morning. David McCarthy, Trini Merle Kitchen. Welcome back, Richards. Julia Samantha, Joyce Phillip, Rena Voodoo Jennings. Carol is loving the video. Diane Payne, Jennifer, Florence Barzi, Claire, Lendor Rollins. It's my birthday today. Happy birthday, Claire Lendor Rollins. Have an absolutely fantastic day. You're born a day with some pretty quiet people, I have to admit, in terms of their personality. Trinidad Margot from Florida, Helen Prescott, David Ware, such a beautiful video by Joshua. Ambrose Blah from New York, Margarita Chow, Ron DeSantis Jr. Wendell, what's the successful chance of someone snatching a phone in the middle of Houston, Texas? I mean, I don't understand the question. Sherma Paul, Nicola McNichols, Mrs. R, things have gotten worse, horrible now. I don't know if you all also saw the video of the young man who snatched the $100 from a man who going to play a playway bet. You all saw that video?
No.
He walked up to the playway booth, like the playway booth is extended into the road now, the counter. And as the man handing his money and calling out his bets, a young man snatched the $100 and go on running.
Yeah, they feel so emboldened now.
Boy, and the man 3 times his size, If you see the little Nashi boy. Anyway, Prabha Ramdial says good morning. Scorpion, and people, I don't have the video, so don't ask me. Scorpion Pepper, Trini. So why you all can't meet in a mall, police station or something? True.
Good morning, Mrs. R.
Those are all options. Valerie Mendoza, Maria Cellier, Michael Samuel, children was grown up the right way. Correct. Ava Smith, good morning. Garfield Hazel, Chandra Sau. Okay, that's the wife deserves a trophy too. She deserves too. Boy, be there, see from baby Andre Reno. Women put up with a lot, women tolerate a lot. So that's what I said. Anyway. Eunice Dublin, Scorpion Pepper, when they'll have a community project to roll out, but need some guidance on some aspects. That's no problem. You know where to find me. You understand? Come down and get one of your, which is your drink last time? A Caribbean? I think it's a Caribbean. And Margaret Thomas also says good morning. All right. Those are all our greetings on the chat.
All right, so let me say good morning to Kent in Laventille, to Vincent Ashton, who's locked on, Colin and Kelly, out of Karen Adzina in Arima, Mr. Beeps, Pity Valley, Mr. Billy in Powder Magazine, Cynthia Aaron out there in the US of A, and Archbishop Ashton Clark in Canada, and of course Horatio, Pauline, and Sexy Reds are off the mark very early this morning also. And everybody who are picking us up on the Gael field, well, we thank you for being here. So we are going for that break, and we will be back shortly. Right, Rich?
Yeah, could go ahead. Permission granted.
There's no Christmas like Christmas on New Era TT Radio.
Oh, how I wish I were a child again, where poinsettias keep reminding you.
Christmas is family.
A Christmas gift of love. It's the kind of gift a man enjoys.
Christmas is love.
Have a Merry Christmas, my dear, and have a Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas from all of us here at New Era TT Radio, NETT Radio.
Charm Flair Auto Services Limited, your one-stop auto repair shop, located at number 1 Industrial Lane, Charm Flair, right opposite the brewery on the Eastern Main Road. Yes, we do it all. Repairs to all makes and models, from your everyday sedan to SUVs, light trucks, pickups, and panel vans. We're also the sole distributors of Devante tires, certified VTS inspection station, plus a wide range of services: oil change, front end and suspension repairs, tune-ups, tire alignment, batteries, electrical work, radiator and cooling system, AC repairs, and accessories galore. We offer pickup and drop-off service too. Call us today at 662-6545 or 662-6572. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Charm Flair Auto Services Limited, number 1 Industrial Lane, Charm Flair. We do it all.
It's Christmas. Can't do it without black cake, homemade bread, sweet bread, pone, pastel, and punchacram. Get it at Val's Kitchen in Dabadi. To place your order, call 758-0148. Yes, delivery can be arranged. Val's Kitchen, Dabadi.
Ho, ho, ho! This Christmas, small businesses, this one's just for you. Get your brand, your product, your business in front of thousands every single day on New Era TT Radio, NETT Radio, and Gael Caribbean TV. And here's the gift you've been waiting for. Radio and television advertising has never been more affordable anywhere else. We are talking unbelievable real rates. Prices no one else can offer you for primetime slots that put your business right where your customers are watching and listening. So call us today at 299-5156 and turn your Christmas into real results and real profits with affordable advertising, so you too can say Merry Christmas.
Looking for pet supplies that wouldn't bite? Visit Bow Wow Supply Limited, your friendly family-owned pet store at the corner of Cane Farm Avenue and 5th Street West, Cane Farm, Trin City.
We offer fabulous prices,
great service, and a wide range of foods, treats, toys, grooming products, and accessories. Everything your pet needs in one place. We are open Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Sundays from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Coming today, Bow Wow Supply Limited, Cane Farm Avenue and 5th Street West, Cane Farm, Trin City. Your pet's friendly place. Call us at 640-7184.
S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rumbox, drinking out of the box.
I wanted to say something before we go back.
Yeah, well, go ahead.
DL was saying the guy snatched a gold bracelet, not the $100. I don't know. That's not very apparent from the video. Because I don't know why he would put his gold bracelet down on the counter. He snatched what was on the counter, I think. I'll watch the video again if I come upon it on Facebook. DL, thanks. All right. We can get straight into headlines?
Yep.
Let's do that. We're running a little late this morning. Today, of course, is December 9th, 2025, and the headlines in the Express reads, a 13-year-old deadly romance. And that story is another horror story of a murder suicide between a couple.
Yeah,
that
that's
apparently,
also a tragic, horrible story too.
Yeah, apparently with years of domestic violence, because the woman's brother was very open on television last night, reporting how many times they spoke to her and how many times that she had I think she couldn't even speak to friends, go out with friends. I mean, and she's 42 and he's 29. You understand? I mean, the age doesn't matter, but at the same time, I'm just saying it in the context of when I listened to the brother last evening, because he looked younger than her, as to trying to reason with people, along certain lines. And
every time you see a man is controlling, women need to take those signals immediately. And you would see it in the courting stage.
Yeah.
When men start but I don't know if some women become submissive and figure let him make the decision. Because some small churches just back that up there.
Well, not just small churches, Richard. You're going correct. Some religions.
Yeah, some religions. Well, okay, let me say that. Some religions kind of back that up, be submissive to a man. And so I don't know if some women interpret that as being devoted. I don't. Anyway, there's a whole other conversation. But from anytime a man trying to control you and control your decisions or keep making decisions that you are uncomfortable with, get out of that.
Yeah. And the invasion of privacy and all these other red flags that you get. You think it's love, but it's just another sad story. And it's the second one we've had in 2 weeks?
Yes. Exactly.
It happens, Richard. It triggers other people to do this stupidness.
Yeah, and I mean it's annoying, and I think the brother was on news last night talking about how he told his sister, to get out of that relationship. Yeah. I'm always amazed that family members could talk in interviews from things like that.
Yeah, and the brother was very, very vocal about the situation last evening.
Yeah. But I'm always like, when tragic situations like that happen, I know I ain't talking.
So we've now had a father and now a brother having to speak out against the warnings.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah. That's a broad, huge topic. That,
yeah,
that is happens way too often.
Yeah, and I don't know that it will stop,
Well, it has to. We have to find a way to stop it.
How with human beings, Richard?
I don't know.
Robert, please, we need you. That was the plea of Derek Tardy yesterday. Of course, Derek was kidnapped. He and his wife, Caribel, they were both kidnapped. Up for the fight, West Indies around Justin Graves. I saw that interview with him last evening on the news. I watched news for the first time in a long while yesterday. He was very, I have to admit, he was very articulate. Murder-suicide, woman slain, partner found hanging. You couldn't just hang yourself, boy. Or go and find somebody else. US 2.5 million ransom demand, or stay by yourself. US 2.5 million ransom demand for Monos Island couple. Woman dies on the pavement after altercation with 60-year-old. And people getting too old now to be doing this stupidness, You live most of your life, 3/4 of your life already, and you're reaching this stage. Mind some fish and turtles. From Mayaro to Port of Spain, driver loses thousands to Fixter. Fatal end to Orange Valley drive-by. Those are all stories trending in today's Express.
All right, so in the news day today, the main story, of course, is that story. Couple snatched from Monos Island, home US $2.5 million in ransom demanded. They repeated the story twice. I don't know why. Newsday, check whoever doing all your electronic news, please.
ChatGPT.
Yeah, they're having problems because they post up the same story twice. Hope, skepticism is Trinidad and Tobago doctors bound for Guyana. And the story is repeated a third time. Check on whoever doing that, please. And SFBA, SFBA welcomes refinery restart as government reviews reactivation plan. Chambers call for fair forex distribution as Exim Bank CEO axed, and which raises a lot of concern in some circles. And court sides with judges. Son, illegal PBR use conviction quashed, and Claxton Bay woman killed by ex-boyfriend who dies by suicide, which is the story we were referencing a little while ago. And ex-CPEP contractor ordered to pay costs. So that's just some of the story in the news. Day over to you on The Guardian, Sir Charles.
All right, so in The Guardian today, abductors demand US $2.5 million for businessman wife. And Angel's horrendous end, woman's throat slit, boyfriend takes own life, man dies in fire minutes after threatening to burn house down. 2 men freed of murder as state offers no evidence in case. And friends again, Duke PDP to campaign. Friends again, Duke PDP to campaign for Farley ahead of 2026 elections. And analysts uncertain how Duke's support for TPP will sway voters. And government unveils marriage system overhaul. Okay, so those are just some of these stories in The Guardian there.
Richard, my apologies.
Oh
God, you know, sometimes I talk because you know me, I my life is an open book, and sometimes I think everybody else's life should be an open book, right? So I just talk freely sometimes, right?
Yeah. Landlord tax thing.
No, that's not. Oh, sorry. No, you go ahead, because I wanted to deal with Watson Duke's story. I don't know how it didn't come up in the other headlines.
About how he backing Farley, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
And almost threatening Farley. Farley is Farley so desperate to take Watson back?
I don't know, but you know what would be interesting about our TH elections is whether PNM makes any inroads, because there seems to be a lot of dissatisfaction coming from a lot of different quarters with regard to the government's first 6 months plus in office. That finance bill, of course, has raised a lot of angst in certain departments, certainly the Bar Owners Association, whom we will be speaking to in the next hour with regard to some of the exorbitant charges on machines. And this government comes across, for whatever reason, as being not very consultative and not very much willing to backtrack. They come across that way. I may be wrong, but that's how they come across. And so the Bar Association will be in the next hour. We'll be speaking to somebody representing them and discussing that issue. You also have the issue of, the landlord tax, which of course Minister Tanku is going through great pains to say it's not a property tax. But after all is said and done, it comes across as a property tax. Minister Tanku, with all due respect, it comes across as a property tax. But what is even more disturbing about that landlord tax, it comes across unwieldy. Why would you make it so bureaucratic? Because you have now made it saying if you have the first 20,000 and if you're over 20,000 and you have quarterly returns, you have a registration payment, it's unwieldy. It's going to cause some people to stop being landlords, one. And of course, if you don't register, it's $250,000, which is kind of a ridiculous penalty.
Absolutely ridiculous.
For not registering. And it's ridiculous. And it's too unwieldy. It's better you should have just said, if you are earning income from your property, there is a flat rate, or do it according to the property tax methodology like the PNM did.
This should have just left property tax, Richard. Plain and simple.
I just said, look, since you're earning income, it'll be 2% of your rental for the year. That's it. That's easier for people to manage. You know what it is.
Yeah.
But when you start to break it up quarterly, and they have to do quarterly returns to the Board of Inland Revenue, and it becomes unwieldy, and people are going to find out just too much headache, and it's too much that they have to do. And if you are a pro-citizen government, you need to make things as simple. You know, I'm always about that, Wendell. Make things simple for citizens. Don't make things more difficult and add more bureaucracy to their lives. Come on, find an easier way to do it. If you're wanting to tax income-generating properties, then do it via some flat rate or something, and just say this is what's payable. And certainly that whole registration, and if you do register, it's $250,000 plus 3 years imprisonment is ridiculous, punitive, and abusive. Come on.
Yeah, I don't understand the purpose.
You can't say
behind
that and then say with UNC everybody wins. That rings hollow and monster-like.
It sounds
so, come
personal
on.
also.
Do better.
Yeah, it sounds a bit
like nobody's saying anything. I don't find anybody saying anything. Like, we're the only show that talks about it. I don't know. I assume not. But, but it's like, fix things, but fix things in a way that doesn't make life is already going to be more difficult for citizens, because you have raised the electricity rates on commercial enterprises. They're going to pass that on. You could do whatever you want. They're going to pass that on. And they also have our property issue in terms of their assets and stuff with financial institutions. They're going to pass that on.
But we can pass it on to whom? People who's struggling already?
Exactly. The electricity rates that you have added on to businesses, they're going to pass that on. The landlord tax that you're passing on to businesses who rent, they're going to pass that on. So things are obviously going to go up across the board. They're obviously going to go up. And now you're making things more difficult for landlords in terms of the unwieldy, the whole bureaucratic process and penalty. You need to revisit that.
Because you're going to have empty buildings now, Richard. A lot of buildings are going to go empty because, as you say, the natural thing for a landlord to do, if he is taxed so heavily, is to pass it on. But pass it on to who? People who are already struggling and trying to pay rent. So the places are going to be empty. Places are going to be going to have to sell. What is going to happen in Trinidad and Tobago if we go down this road that we are going?
Yeah, it seems gloomy. For a lot of people. A lot of tenants must be worried because they may be struggling. A lot of tenants must be worried right now, wherever. I mean, a tenant, it could be a business tenant or a residential tenant, because some residential tenants are struggling to even pay the current rent.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
And then it's going to go up.
Yeah, it's just not going to make any sense. We're going to have empty buildings. We're going to have buildings selling. I mean, I hope not.
I don't know. I mean, because we are a finite country in terms of we are small. So I don't know the ripple down effect of all of this is going to have. And they don't even know. Because, economists are all, what I always say, the economists are kind of like, what should I say? They're educated guessers in a kind of way. They're always using, various things to kind of guess how the economy is going to react in some ways. Some ways you could tell better than others, but other ways you're not sure it's really going to go 100% or not. And I assume the UNC would have had advice from people because they were doing away with certain things. They're trying to raise the income. And I get it, you're trying to raise income because of the fall off in other sectors in the economy, especially the energy sector. And you have to raise money to manage the country. I know the raising of the borrowing limit from 50 million to 45 billion also raised a lot of eyebrows. So, I have the capacity to borrow $45 billion. So what is that about? You need to explain that. And I think have they explained that?
Yeah, we spoke about that, yes. As a matter of fact, we polled it yesterday.
I know that was a poll yesterday, but have they explained why they increased borrowing?
No, they have not. I reached out to Mariano Brown, as I said. I am going to reach out to Brian Manning because Mariano was responding to me and then stopped. To at least get some sort of clarification on it. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know what is going on. Trinidad and Tobago, as I said, I've been speaking this for a while now. it's
Well,
very
let's
mediocre.
see if we could take a couple calls in
Yeah,
between
let's
the
take a
space.
couple calls.
Paula, good morning to you.
Hi, Richard. Good morning.
Morning, Dabity.
Good morning, Wanda. Good morning, Richard.
Good morning.
Morning, Mendoza.
So there are so far, but I only mentioned two now because it's time limited. They can't explain $45 billion what the government seeks to borrow on the outside market. So it's US currency we talk about now, Forex, as well as the one Michelle spoke about just now there, the first thing I spoke about, when nobody's talking. Of course, when the first thing I talk about, I can't remember anyway, because it's been so long. Anyway, and I understand that the government said that they are not doing no sponsorship on media. So a lot of the media probably not going to write things or talk about things to kind of vex up the government then. So everybody keep it quiet. So Richard, you spoke about it and you said nobody talking about it except our program.
No, I said it seems that way, but I'm sure other people are talking about it.
So the thing is, why is it that we're not hearing for like voices coming out against these things? Why? Everybody just
stop,
just go on.
I think it's only a matter of time.
Comes out, So that 45 billion, especially, I heard a Sunday night on the news, one chamber said, that they should rethink that also. But that one chamber alone, where the rest of people, it will be our great-grandchildren and the children, our grandchildren, children will be paying for that, So
Well,
the next 20 years,
if you're borrowing, if you have increased your borrowing capacity, I just want an explanation. I'm not saying you may be borrowing 45 billion to make 100 billion. I'm just saying if you're doing it in a investment business like we, that you have a plan in how that 45 billion is going to generate 100 billion and that you'll pay it back. But I'm saying it's a vacuum of information in terms of that. So I can't say that raising it is necessarily automatically bad. If it is that there is some sort of plan of how you're supposed to, pay it back and what the investment is for, if you're planning it for investment purposes. But there is a vacuum of information with regard to it. And that's what's
Yeah, morning.
Morning.
Well, good morning.
Morning, guys. Yeah, morning. Yeah, well, that whole one time operational cost going up for landlords because the electricity and the water system and all will go up because Wasanti and Tech will put the commercial rates on them. So it is across the board. Anything you add operational cost to will just spin through the society. So at the end of the day, the government under pressure too. Because when the former administration was trying to do things and to implement measures to raise revenue because we're facing revenue challenges, they was being critical and saying all kind of things, and all the measures were just condemning. You see, they grab into it now. We cried on Venezuela, we think with Venezuela, they was making all kind of bacchanal with the gas thing. We need that gas. Because what Point Lisa's facing a challenge right now. If that Point Lisa's industrial estate closed down, which is happening gradually, and number of plants closing. I work on 2 plants in Point Lisa, one in Point Lisas and one in Point Fonte. And both of them plants closed right now after 100 million was spent to upgrade. And nutrient and all them plant closed. So that you revenue problems. That is a real challenge they're facing. And they was being critical and crying down the previous administration with these things. We looking to hog up America. Right now, America really no benefit to we. Venezuela is more benefit to we because of the gas than America. What we gain from America? Economically. We ain't really gaining nothing from America. We have more to gain from our relationship with Venezuela and gain that gas from Venezuela for we to market and keep the industries running. But we hogging up and trying to support that old 1,000 years old mentality where America trying to dominate people and put people under subjugation. That gone through. Like in the pirate days of Henry Morgan and them. We need to cooperate and work with people, and that method of America going with it outdated.
All right, thanks very much.
Just quickly before we go for the break, You know that caller, that's the first time I've heard that voice, right? So I suspect this is the first time he called in the show. But you know, he raised something in the end there that we need to discuss. Who do we stand to benefit more from? A relationship with the United States or a relationship with Venezuela?
But you have to put it in context, Wendell. It's a little bit more nuanced than that because the United States is our largest trading partner.
Right.
So that's what we get from the United States.
Maybe we should do right now.
They are our largest trading partner. So that's where a lot of our manufacturing and a lot of those energy products that we use, that we manufacture, the U.S. market, takes a lot of it. Whether it be ammonia, whether it be whatever it is, the products that we're selling, methanol, all of those things. But the U.S. is our largest trading partner. So that's the benefit of the United States. So let's not minimize that.
Yes.
So,
no. I'm not minimizing it. But it's in the context of right now. Maybe that's a discussion a day. Yeah. But we have to go for the news. And our poll is up. Do you think Watson Duke will be able to help the TPP in the upcoming THA elections? Yes.
Yeah, just as a side note to that, I don't know if this THA elections is going to be a kind of barometer with regard to the PNM and whether they can, whether they can in terms of because the TPP has so much aligned themselves with the current administration. They are like a party subset. That's how people view them. And is it that may work to their disadvantage or advantage in the THA elections? We'll find out.
I have some homework for you. Go and watch our interview with Kelvin Morris yesterday, because exactly that came up. You understand? In terms of a referendum on both the PNM, and on the TPP, and also by extension on the government, the UNC government, because of their life.
So we're going for the 7 o'clock news, people. We will be back.
The news you need, the clarity you deserve. Local, regional, global. This is Net Radio News Now.
This is News Now on New Era TT Radio and Gael Caribbean TV. I'm Derek. Good day. Prime Minister Kamla Prasad Bisesar says taxpayers are facing nearly $100 million in wasted medical assets at the now rededicated Kuva Children's Hospital. Speaking at the ceremony, she described a decade of malicious neglect, with equipment left expired, obsolete, or unused, including over 200 boxed items, major radiology systems like an MRI and CT scanner, and dozens of non-functional machines. She said UDECOT confirmed that $78.2 million is needed to restore the facility, work that began after the new administration took office in April 2025. Since then, operating theaters have been certified, patient services have started, and clinicians have already completed more than 80 surgeries. The hospital also launched its first pediatric specialist clinic, and Prasad Bisesar announced that the Children's Life Fund has been strengthened. Private donors, including the Airports Authority of Trinidad and Tobago, also contributed to the relaunch. The Court of Appeal has overturned the conviction of a 17-year-old boy who was found guilty of using the priority bus route without authorization while driving his father's vehicle. The judges ruled that the master made a legal error by insisting the teen produce a letter of authorization, something not required by law and never entered into evidence. The court clarified that the Highways Act authorizes vehicles, not specific drivers, to use the PBR. Since the teen showed his father's valid PBR permit and said he had permission to drive the vehicle, the burden then shifted to prosecutors to prove otherwise, and they failed to do so. The panel found the conviction fundamentally flawed, noting that supposed conditions printed on the back of the permit were never before the court. The conviction and all related orders have been set aside. Environmental activist Dr. Wayne Kublansing is calling on Prime Minister Kamla Prasad Bisesar to step aside, accusing her of aligning Trinidad and Tobago with what he calls an imperialist U.S. agenda. At a peace vigil in Port of Spain, He condemned recent U.S. military strikes in the region, strikes the UN says violate international law. Kublan Singh argued the Prime Minister has abandoned diplomacy and is putting the country at risk by supporting U.S. actions. He claimed she has sold out Trinidad and Tobago, damaged relations with Venezuela, and should face international scrutiny. Radio host Abeo Jackson echoed his concerns, urging unity and warning that the country's sovereignty is at stake. Movement for Social Justice leader David Abdullah added that the protests align with regional calls for peace, insisting the Caribbean must remain a zone of peace. Tuco has officially opened registration for its 2026 Carnival competitions. Registration began on December 8th and is available at all Tuco zonal offices, including Woodbrook, Port of Spain, San Fernando, Arima, and in Scarborough, Tobago. Competitions are open to all citizens and naturalized citizens. Senior competitors who are financial members will pay a $100 registration fee, while non-members must pay $500. Members in arrears will pay $150 for each unpaid year. Tuco President Ainsley King says they're still awaiting word from potential sponsors and are seeing signs that it's not business as usual. He said Tuco does have a plan B if needed. Deadlines include Calypso Monarch on January 9th, Extempo and Freestyle Monarch on January 30th, the Road March competition on February 13th, and the Junior Calypso Monarch on January 13th. A U.S. $2.5 million ransom has been demanded for the safe release of 70-year-old Derek Tardieu and his 47-year-old wife Clarabelle. The couple, who live on Manus Island and operate a boatyard in Chaguaramas, was reported missing on Saturday night. Police say a relative received a message around 9:44 p.m. with Tardieu's voice saying, "They have May and want $2.5 million for May release." When Tardieu's son went to their home, the couple was gone and the house was ransacked. Calls to Tardieu's phone went unanswered. Officers from the Anti-Kidnapping Unit and the Homicide Division are now investigating. Finally, in international news, European leaders say now is a critical moment to increase support for Ukraine as pressure grows for a peace deal with Russia. President Volodymyr Zelensky met UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer, France's Emmanuel Macron, and Germany's Friedrich Merz in London to discuss a revised peace plan being shaped with the US. Zelensky said the most anti-Ukrainian points were removed, but major concerns remain, especially over proposals for Ukraine to pull out of eastern regions, an idea he rejects. He insisted any deal must include strong security guarantees to prevent future attacks. European leaders stressed unity with the US, but expressed caution about parts of the proposal. Zelensky later traveled to Brussels as talks continue, while fighting on the ground remains intense. And that's news at this time.
That was News Now. Stay informed with New Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
Your mid-morning just got better. Join Sir Charles for the mid-morning mix and mingle, where good music, real talk, health, and family matters come together, and your voice is heard. Whether you're at work, on the go, or just taking a break, this is the perfect mix to keep you engaged, informed, and entertained. The mid-morning mix and mingle, weekdays, 9 a.m. to 12 noon on New Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
Morning vibes, fresh energy. This is the Net Radio Breakfast Show.
Tanti Gladys and I SOS to all she family because of an incident that happened to she. Early Christmas morning, coconut water. They gone with that. I love parang, I love me parang, but I don't ever want to see that parang. I love parang, I love me parang, but I don't want to see that teeth in parang. Now I'm hungry and I'm broken with nothing to eat. You know them fellas take keep on my toilet seat. I had to call the police for them to hold their tail. I hope they spend the whole Christmas in the jail. I can't see me World Cup, they gone with that. I bowl a curry duck, they gone with that. I mug a sour soup, they gone with that. But wait, where my yard cock, they gone with that. I love parang, I love me parang, but I don't ever want to see that parang. I love parang, I love me parang, but I don't want to see that teeth in parang.
Mornings just got better. You're locked into NETT Radio Breakfast Show. Fueling your day with the best music and
Make a spin cover, good for a case, a snag and a case.
Yeah, I tell you,
They gone with that.
a parang side like that, you don't want them by your house at all. They're going with all your things.
They gone with that. Me pressure cooker.
Hey everybody, welcome inside our number 2 of the breakfast show.
Gone with that.
Right here on New Era TT Radio and Gael Caribbean TV. We're happy to be in your company on this Tuesday morning. And of course, to all the folks who are tuned in on Gael, when we come off of the Gael feed, remember you can get us on newerattradio.com. New Era TT Radio, put it in your browser so you get us on TuneIn, and that way you get us on your Google and Alexa devices, yeah? All our people on Facebook and YouTube also. So remember, when you're on the platforms, like, subscribe, follow the platforms. It's very important, yeah? Add up some likes in between there. And also, don't forget to hit that support, donate button so you can support us here on NETT Radio. All right, so continue to vote on the poll. You vote in yes or no first, then you put in your comments, right? The question being asked to you today: do you think that Watson Duke will be able to help the TPP in the upcoming THA elections? Meaning, do you think he will add value? So when we come back, we'll tell you about that, right? Stay with us. This is The Breakfast Show.
S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rumbox, drinking out of the box.
Looking for pet supplies that wouldn't bite? Visit Bow Wow Supply Limited, your friendly family-owned pet store at the corner of Cane Farm Avenue and 5th Street West, Cane Farm, Trin City.
We offer fabulous prices,
great service, and a wide range of foods, treats, toys, grooming products, and accessories. Everything your pet needs in one place. We are open Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Sundays from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Coming today, Bow Wow Supply Limited, Cane Farm Avenue and 5th Street West, Cane Farm, Trin City. Your pet's friendly place. Call us at 640-7184.
Ho, ho, ho! This Christmas, small businesses, this one's just for you. Get your brand, your product, your business in front of thousands every single day on New Era TT Radio, NETT Radio, and Gael Caribbean TV. And here's the gift you've been waiting for. Radio and television advertising has never been more affordable anywhere else. We are talking unbelievable real rates. Prices no one else can offer you for primetime slots that put your business right where your customers are watching and listening. So, So call us today at 299-5156 and turn your Christmas into real results and real profits with affordable advertising so you too can say Merry Christmas.
It's Christmas. Can't do without black cake, homemade bread, sweet bread, pone, pastel, and punchacram. Get it at Val's Kitchen in Dabadi. To place your order, call 758-0148. Yes, delivery can be arranged. Val's Kitchen, Dabadi.
Charmflair Auto Services Limited, your one-stop auto repair shop, located at number 1 Industrial Lane, Charmflair, right opposite the brewery on the Eastern Main Road. Yes, we do it all. Repairs to all makes and models, from your everyday sedan to SUVs, light trucks, pickups, and panel vans. We're also the sole distributors of Davanti tires, certified VTS inspection station, plus a wide range of services: oil change, front end and suspension repairs, tune-ups, tire alignment, batteries, electrical work, radiator and cooling system, AC repairs, and accessories galore. We offer pickup and drop-off service too. Call us today at 662-6545 or 662-6572. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Charmflair Auto Services Limited, number 1 Industrial Lane, Charmflair. We do it all.
There's no Christmas like Christmas on New Era TT Radio.
Laughing children tug at Mr. Santa. Teddy bears.
Feel the laughter, the lights, the love. That's what Christmas feels like.
Christmas Eve, casually I was walking down the street. One Christmas Eve, casually
We keep the joy alive and the music playing all season long. Merry Christmas from your friends at New Era TT Radio, taking you above and beyond.
Merry Christmas, everybody!
We are back. Good morning to a special group. Charmaine out there in New York arrived back in New York was I think this morning or yesterday. Morning, Charmaine, and Michelle Phillip from UFES in St. James and the staff at UFES. A special good morning to you all. All right, thanks for your assistance over the last few days. All right, and of course, not forgetting Furniture Plus, especially the St. James staff. Wonderful, wonderful people. You know, special good morning to you all.
Did you listen to the story with the magistrate's son or the judge's son who was on the PBR and they charged him for he was driving his father's car on the PBR and they held him on the PBR. I don't know if it's the police or the license authority, whoever it is, but they charge him for the being on the PBR and
they gave him a ticket.
Yeah, well, same thing. But being on the PBR, and he had all rights to be on the PBR because the car was allowed to be on the PBR and have a pass.
No, it don't work so, eh? It don't work so. It's the car and the person. The person's name is on the PBR.
No, he's going on what the judge said, Randall. Not on what you say. Okay. Not on what you say. What the judge is saying.
All right. So he is reporting what the judge said.
Yes, I think that's what he's reporting, not so such as.
Yeah. So apparently the legislation is for the car. It's not for the car and the person.
Okay. Well, that's news to me.
Yeah.
Because that's why I said it was not what you think, it's what the judge thinks.
I get a ticket already, you know.
Yeah, and you didn't challenge it, so that's your fault. But it's what the judge thinks and not what you think. That's my point.
Yeah.
You think and you have an interpretation, but this man took it to court and the judge made a determination.
Okay, well, excellent.
Yeah, precedent
I always thought so too.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if you are allowed and you have permission to use the person's car, it's not a problem.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. I didn't see that. Send that for me.
You just read the story, Sir Charles. I didn't read the story yet, but I know
I'm seeing Mariano. Guys, hold on. I'm seeing Mariano Brown calling me. Now, Mariano never confirmed that he asked now where's the link. Mariano never confirmed he was going to do the interview. Mariano set him up. He never responded that he's doing the interview today.
Well, tomorrow we'll do it, Yeah, we can line it up for tomorrow if you have time.
Check your messages and see if he agreed and you just missed it.
Yeah.
No, he didn't agree. I have the message in front of me.
Yeah, check your messages.
But I have it in front of me. He never responded. As I say, I saw him responding that day, but he never sent it.
Anyhow,
let me call him back. Allow me to call him back, right? Whilst you are.
No, we have to let's do the poll now. We'll talk with him after.
All right, okay. Well, I want to be because he'll be there waiting on a link, you know.
Yeah. I get what you're saying, Wendell. He'll be thinking that you're managing to send the link or whatever.
Yeah. Let me at least. Hi, Mariano. I didn't get a response from you.
All the older people, yes, Lord.
But we had to do it tomorrow because we had already gotten somebody for today when I didn't get a response.
The older people.
Right? I'll call you right after the show. Oh Lord, I don't like that to happen to me, you know, because Mariano is such an important person and we wanted to really
understand that these things can happen.
But it happened to Mariano, not to me. I do what I'm supposed to do. He probably type a message to send for me and never send it.
Anyhow, let's do the poll, Wendell.
All right. Our poll this morning is: do you think Watson Duke will be able to help the TPP in the upcoming THA elections? DL says no. Nicola McNichols, no. Michael Robinson, no. Marlon Motley, no. Diane Payne, no. Old Lady, no. Ilarizan, no. Apollonus, no. Boy B. Dacey, no. Michael Cadet, no. Ava Smith, no. Gregory Boyer, no. And there's some Bow Wow. Stellar Services, no. Eunice Dublin, no. Florence Bazi, no. Joseph Clement, no. Margaret Thomas, no. Carol is asking where's the poll. Carol is there. Elizabeth said yes. That's Suzette Jessup, I think. Suzanne Jessup says no. Carol Guevara, no. Stick Money Grip, no. Joyce Phillip, no. Scorpion Pepper, yes. Gemma Peters Halls, no. Kendall Roach, that's a brand new name, no. Colted Finch, no. Carl M. Jack is saying very interesting. I think that's the story. So that the PBR judgment has now become case law. Very interesting, as I should say. Dave Gosai, no. Anya, no. And Marcia Rock, no. Those are the votes I have on the chat.
All right. So
let me call Marianne.
Okay. So Zena says no. Pauline says no. Sean says no. Peter didn't vote. Laverne says no. Archbishop Ashton Clark says no. Mr. Billy says yes. Rockaway didn't vote. Terry Ann says no. Annan says no. And Sexy Reds says no. All right, that's it. And Miss Sampson says no. So Wendell has gone off, so I don't know if you have any song, but let me leave it there for now.
Anyway, so our poll this morning: do you think Watson Duke will be able to help the TPP in the upcoming THA elections? We had 38 people voting on the poll this morning, and of the 38 people voting in the allotted time, 35 of you said no, you do not think that Watson Duke will be able to help the TPP in the upcoming THA elections, and 3 of you said yes. So the nays have it for this morning. They don't believe that Watson Duke will be able to help, and that's it for the end of the poll. The poll is now at an end.
All right. So just to confirm, Mariano is.
I thought Watson Duke came across a little kind of desperate last night.
Typical of Watson Duke.
I know. I mean, suddenly backing the TPP and trying to justify it, it just came across.
And he's saying Fali called him, eh? No.
Yes, he said Fali called him.
A real big pinch of salt.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't put it past politicians. But
what
it
Fali
just
need
came,
Watson
because you know why it came across a little kind of sad is because Watson Duke has always been such a force in the
Is he have
Tobago
all of them
politics.
there?
What?
He has all of them there, you know?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. He has been such a force in terms of Tobago politics. He's a national figure, and he, I mean, courts controversy and handles it, you know, brushes it off. And here he was playing kind of second fiddle.
Yeah.
It was a little strange.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just found it a little strange. It was kind of like Twilight Zone-ish. It was like, what?
But what I want...
Am I sleeping? So I had to turn off the TV and I said, no, look at turning off the TV and I'm turning it back on. So I'm not sleeping. Okay.
Watson Duke, I can understand Watson Duke desperate now because he has boxed himself in a little corner that he can't get out. You understand? So because he led the PDP to victory and then start a carry on with Fali, and Fali take his whole party and go on with it and leave him there like a cheese standing alone. So he's desperate. So I can understand him wanting to go to Fali.
A jilted lover.
Fali came to him. That's the part I don't understand. Because Fali don't need it. Fali has come into his own as a politician in Tobago. He does not need Watson Duke. So unless he is sensing a rise in the PNM, a re-emergence of the PNM in Tobago, that he feel he needs Watson, because let me put it this way, Watson will say anything on that platform. He doesn't start already. He will say anything, and he will appeal to the base. He say, yeah, he doesn't say, Fali, you get extra money, make sure you employ people with that poor people. He will say the right things that Fali ain't gonna say. Let's face it. Right? So he understands his value. He is going to appeal to a base in Tobago that would probably work. So I didn't understand Fali going to it, but maybe we will see. We will wait and see.
Anyway, we should get to our interview. Our interviewee is standing by. So let's just get into our interview where we interview Satesh Moonasar. Right. Satesh Moonasar is on standby. So let's get into that interview at this point on The Breakfast Show this morning.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes, so good morning, Mr. Moonasar. Thanks for joining us this morning on The Breakfast Show.
Hi, good morning.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, first we need, he did put...
Yeah, could you, we know you can't come on camera because you're driving, so but we still appreciate you taking the opportunity to speak with us this morning. Could you tell us which organization you're the head of? I know there's two. I think there's the Bar Association, and then there is another association that I say also talking about this issue.
I am the president of the Barkeepers and Operators Association.
Barkeepers, okay. All right, well, thanks for joining us this morning. So, of course, we want to talk finance bill and of course, the dramatic and it seems almost punitive increase in fees for machines that are such a mainstay of so many bars. Give us an overview of how your organization sees this.
Well, we see this as a serious blow to the bar industry. A couple of weeks ago, we had a meeting with the finance minister, Devana Tanku, where we had suggestions for reduction in taxes. That meeting looked as if it was fruitful. The minister made us feel that he was listening to our concerns and things, and then all of a sudden we saw this 2 days ago. Well, a couple of days ago, which was last week Wednesday, to be debated in Parliament on Friday, which has passed. So we were caught by surprise. And this drastic 400% increase in taxes will be a serious blow to the industry because it will cause a lot of unemployment and closures of businesses.
I know there was a statement made where you all had called on the Minister of Finance to at least, I suppose, go into some sort of consultation with you all, and certainly to withdraw that part of the finance bill. That obviously went on deaf ears.
Yes, that went on deaf ears. As I said a couple of weeks ago, we did have a consultation with the minister, but it was everything that we spoke about, they did the total opposite. So and we were blindsided by it because in the meeting we thought that our concerns were being heard and our proposals will be taken into consideration and apparently not.
But Mr. Moonasar, the issue of the bar owners though, it's a kind of triple whammy that you all will be getting because you all are also landlords and or tenants. You are also selling alcohol, so you would have had to cushion that increase also to an increases in the price of alcohol where business has slowed down, and now these issues of the machines. Surely you all need to put a better voice out there in terms of all the things that will affect you all.
Yes, almost every tax increase that the government has made since in power will be affecting the bars, from the landlord tax to the raise in alcohol,
electricity
to the
rates
gaming
too.
machines, to the electricity hike, all these things,
And the
every
noise
single thing.
pollution laws too. I forgot that one. The noise pollution laws also too.
The noise pollution laws will also affect the bar industry. So it's like we getting it from all different directions. Now we are trying our best to voice our opinions, sending letters to the relevant authorities for consultation and so forth. But as you have seen, it has fallen on deaf ears.
So what's the next move for your association with regard to it? Because it's now law, and obviously.
Well, it will be the final debate will happen today in the Senate, but I don't see anything.
Oh, sorry. So it's not law yet. It still has to go to the Senate. You're right. So it has to go to the Senate, but they also have the majority in the Senate.
Yes, so that's why I don't see anything stopping it.
Yeah. So is there a lot of disappointment among your group that the government seems insensitive to what bar operators are going through?
There's a lot of disappointment and panic because from our estimations, it will have a mass closure of businesses. These are people who invested basically their life savings and their life behind a business, and all of a sudden, by a decision by the present government, it's been totally taken away from you. Now we estimated like about a 50% reduction in gaming machines because people will not be able to afford it, and by the removal of these gaming machines from the businesses, we don't think that the business will become viable. So eventually, you're talking about anywhere between a 25 to 50% reduction in the industry. Now this will lead it will have a ripple effect, and I don't know if the present government thinking about this in the proper way. And this is why we're asking for consultation, because you're talking about a ripple effect of unemployment and all these things. Lack of economic activity would also affect the tourism for Trinidad and Tobago, because bars play a big part in tourism as well too.
Well, it seems very deliberate on the government's part, because the government must have thought through all of this policy. There was some consultation, as you indicated, with the Bar Association. So obviously, this is very deliberate on the government's part.
It seems deliberate. As I say, we had the consultation, but the consultation was nothing in the direction of what they did. So right now we left confused, and that's why we asking for further consultation to ask the government on what is their direction, what they plan to do, what is the situation. So as business people in the country, that we could plan and know what it is we in for. When we had the meeting, as I say, they did not give us this direction that they were going in. And also with the raise in taxes, which is we cannot understand. The raise in taxes only apply to bars, whereas now what we call members clubs and casinos in the country, nothing was raised on their side. So the taxes on the bars are greater than the casinos, and it makes no sense. Whereas the bars are classified as amusement machines, and we have a limit of 5,000 payout, and the casinos has no limit, but the casino taxes is less than the bars. So it's really, really confusing to us.
Do you think, interestingly enough, Mr. Moonasar, I remember speaking to, a couple of years ago, we had spoken to Mariano Brown about this. Not about Bar Association and those machines, but he was talking about gambling and the issue of gambling. And he said, I remember, I don't forget these conversations. I remember Mariano saying that if he had his way, this years ago, that he would have taxed gambling out of existence. No, I am not of that approach. I think gambling and legal gambling has a part to play in economic activity. But that's my opinion. That might be differing from other economists. Do you think this measure is either one, the government trying to curtail gambling, or two, the government having an intention that some bars should close?
The only logical thing that I could think about is the curtailing gambling, because automatically raising the taxes to that level, as I say, 50% of the bars that has gaming machines at this point in time will not be able to afford it. So that right now, that is the only logical explanation that we could think about. But again, this is what has the businesses running, and because the profits from the machine is what helps run the
Sustain the
establishment.
bar, yeah.
Yes, to
sustain all
sustain
the
the bar.
bars.
So, in one hand, it may be the direction of the government, but it also has, as I said, it also has a ripple effect, and it affects lives. Now, I listened to the debate in the parliament on Friday, and the minister was pertaining the he mentioned things like money laundering and so forth, and whatever the case might be. Now, in all businesses across the country and the world, there are situations where there is illegal activity happening, but you cannot use a Peter pay for Paul method of dealing with the situation. And that is what they're doing right now by raising the taxes, and you're using this as the excuse in the debate in the parliament. It comes like you're using a broad brush approach, and you're punishing everybody for the acts of a few, when you should be dealing and looking for the illegality where the problem is.
And Mr. Moonasar, I'm glad you raised that, because you know why? I remember the big hue and cry that was made when Mr. Manning, as Prime Minister, tried a very similar thing, and the same reasons were given that, you know, these places are covers for money laundering and whatnot. I mean, they even went after Mr. Manning's family as to why he was pursuing that course. You understand? But to me now, that there's almost a deafening silence as to almost a very similar and even more punitive measures that are taking place against an industry.
Yes, and I don't. There's also a ripple effect, as again I would say, by doing this and putting 50% of the businesses out of business in terms of the gaming machine. What are you going to do? You're going to encourage our underground illegal trade as well too, because these machines are here. They are not going anywhere. The persons who now would have to remove it, they will find some place for it, and you're going to create a whole illegal underground system where people will be putting these machines in places that is not supposed to be.
Tell me something. Now, this is one aspect of the taxes coming against the bar owners. The issue of the raise in the price of alcohol, has that affected bars that tangibly?
Yes, it has affected bars. As I previously stated, is that it would affect different bars in different ways. There are different types of bars in different locations, different areas of the country. The price hike in the more medium-sized and bigger bars, in more of a high populated or high traffic area, you wouldn't see much of an effect on it. Yes, they will have an effect across the board, but the effect will be minimum. But the effect in the more rural and village communities and bars in those areas will be devastated in a sense with the hike in alcohol. Plus, these are the same bars, smaller businesses that are going to be devastated by the raise in taxes as well too in the gaming machines. So you're affecting the smaller businessman.
And especially it'll be mostly affecting the people who might be renting also, as opposed to someone who owns the establishment that they're operating from.
Exactly. So it will apply more pressure to the small businessman, the renter, the little village bar, these kind of things. So the smaller businesses is the one where it would affect.
Yeah.
And I believe that it will lead to a lot of closures.
Are you optimistic, as the president of your association, are you optimistic that you all will be able to get the government to backtrack on some of this, or you are pessimistic about where it's all going?
Well, we have to stay positive with everything, and as an association, we have to try to do our best to represent our members. So we will be pushing towards having the consultation with the present government, trying to put our position and see where it goes from there. Hopefully, our concerns may be heard, but the best we can do right now is try.
Yeah, I get that. So are there any plans to have any further meetings with the Minister of Finance? What's the next move, basically? I know you all have certainly come out in the media in terms of articulating your concerns, but behind the scenes, are there any other measures in terms of lobbying, senators lobbying the government still through other channels?
Well, right now, what we have done, we have told our members the bar sectors across the country, set up meetings with the relevant MPs for your certain area, make your voices heard, let them know your concerns. While the association now on a national level, we have sent out letters to all the relevant ministers, including the Prime Minister, for consultation. And hopefully we should have this soon and see if we could find some kind of solution and understand the direction of the government so we could plan and find a solution to the situation.
Yeah. All right. Well, I suppose that's where we could close the interview at this point. But thanks so much, Mr. Moonasar, for speaking with us this morning. We appreciate your input into this issue.
Okay, no problem. Thanks,
Thanks, Mr. Moonasar. Of course, that was Satesh Moonasar, the president of the bar owners and keepers association, something along those lines.
Barkeepers and owners.
Yeah. You know,
I get a sense of how those bar owners are thinking, but they're under several attacks from different provisions under the new budget and under the finance bill. And from electricity rates to the landlord tenant, well, not landlord tenant, but the landlord. Well, some of them are tenants, so they will get the increase from the landlord.
Yes.
Some of them are landlords, so they're getting decreased that way. Some of them, well, even if you're a tenant as a bar, and a lot of them are tenants, you're going to get the increase passed down to you come hell or high water. That's what's going to happen. Whenever your lease is up for renewal, you're going to get it. And of course, the electricity rates, all the
measures
the raise in the custom and excise duties and stuff like that. So it's a lot for small bars. I can understand why small bars would be concerned, and for many small bars, that's their only source of income.
Yep.
They might have one employee, two employees, maybe if you're and Trinidadians. Let me tell you something. For those of you who don't know Trinidad and Tobago watching this show, Trinidad and Tobago have small bars dotted across the entire landscape of Trinidad and Tobago. Wherever you go, there are neighborhood bars. Some of them we call snackets. A long time ago, our parents and grandparents would call them rum shops. But some of them, we call them snackets now. And they're all over, the landscape. You go into all parts of rural Trinidad, you are going to encounter a snacket. And not one, you're going to encounter a couple, no matter how rural it is.
But I wonder if that kind of consideration was really taken when they looked at you just increase alcohol at the rate that it has gone up, and now this huge, it's really huge, 400%,
Well, it has to be it has to be a deliberate policy direction, because that increase is dramatic. And
you know what it was? In my opinion, it was a promise on a platform to appeal to mass people. It worked, but guess what? It doesn't. They have determined how to implement almost everything.
What was the promise on the platform?
What was that promise to put bars out of business?
No, but there was a promise in terms of noise pollution, in terms of all manner of things.
Noise pollution, but not in terms of gambling or those gambling machines.
Yeah. I think the gambling thing was also a promise.
I can't remember hearing that.
Right? Yeah. But I'm saying that but in implementing it, you didn't study the bigger picture. So now that you're in the implementation stage, you realize how many people it's affect. Even people who supported you, who voted en masse for you.
Well, Wendell, I think they have to be quite aware because Mr. Moonasar indicated that there was some level of consultation.
So they just don't care then?
Well, obviously they have a deliberate policy direction. That's what I would say. And the policy direction is in a particular way to achieve a certain result. The issue is, what is the result that you want? Is it that you want the closure of certain bars? And you
don't know who it will affect.
Well, so it's good. Well, it's obviously going to affect rural bars more than it is going to affect non-rural bars, because the bars in the more high density areas have a larger prospect of more clientele coming in for drinks, and of course, a lot of bars make their money from cocktails, and those kinds of the mid to upper level bars will they don't have machines.
Yeah, true.
Those mid and upper level bars don't have machines. It's the rural bars and the smaller bars that do.
Right. Richard, the markup on drinks is very small, you know. You understand? It's very small, you know. I don't know if people feel that bars make. I mean,
I know, that's why I said cocktails. I think bars make more money from cocktails than they do from selling a Heineken or selling a Carib or a Stag or a Modelo. I'm trying to not leave anybody out.
Oh yeah, well,
it's advertising.
Certainly,
but yes,
clubs. I don't know what
it has to be a deliberate. It has to be a deliberate position on the part of the government in terms of those deliberate increases. Not only as a matter of raising income, because you must know that small bars can't, you should logically know, let me put it this way, that small bars can't afford those increase in fees. So the amount of money you think you're going to get from it is not going to be what you think you're going to get from it. Because now you're going to suffer with some of those bars are going to have to close.
Yeah.
So you're going to get less money. And the higher level bars don't have machines. Those are usually the smaller bars. You know,
people are going to find a way, as Mr. Moonasar said, to make a living, because when people need to make a living, need to pay bills, need to
they have to find a way.
They will have to find a way.
Yeah, but government should not be in the business of demolishing businesses or making it difficult for people to earn a living. You should be a facilitator. So even if you want to increase rates from a revenue perspective, you need to have some level of consultation with those people and say, well, okay, what level of increase you can take? They will say, well, you want none, obviously. And you're going to say, as the Minister of Finance, well, I had to give you some because I need to get some revenue from this. So I'm going to raise it by 10%. I'm just saying, whatever it is, whatever the implication is. But
well,
obviously,
the mandate
I don't know if this is all part of the government's overall overarching sense of this government, because they're still very relatively young. Is of course, my position is they have leaned more right than any other government in our history, in my opinion. They've leaned more right, and leaning more right also sometimes means you lean more conservative. You start to get a little bit more religious. You start to get a little bit more faith-based. You start to get a little bit more alcohol is, I don't want to say of the devil.
It's the devil. I will say it because I think that's exactly what people might be saying.
No, I don't know, but anytime you start to lean right, and they're not just leaning right, like they took a step or two in the right direction. They lean, they move. So and that has with it certain conservative approaches to things. I don't know if that's all of this is evidence of that. I don't know.
I want you guys to put a pin on it for a minute. Let's take a couple calls. People, you can call us at 281-1315 and 299-5156. Our caller holding for a little bit. Caller, good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning, sir.
The interesting thing with the interview with Mr. Moonasar is there's two things, as I was listening to him, two things came across my mind. One is, are these machines, the winnings, are there remittances to the NLCB? Right, that is one. And the other thing is, when you speak about the unemployment, most of the bars, especially in the far-flung areas, most of the helpers, hostesses, hosts, and so on, are our foreign guests from Venezuela. Right? So that would be a massive loss for them as well. In addition to the charges with the insurance, if you're a tenant, and the tax on the electricity and so on. Right? But the picture I'm looking at with respect to what he didn't see is that most of these people will not support the government. And Mr. Stevens, I'm with you 100% in that this current government is a lot of things to evoke populism. But behind the populism were these measures, because a lot of people forget, when I look at the finance bill, when it was debated, when it was introduced, the Minister of Finance read a whole long historical perspective about vice taxes and so on, and people's vices. And he said that if you have your vice, then one of the ways that the government seeks to restrict people from exercising the vices is by taxation. And this will drive them away. Also, interestingly, the Minister of Health, Dr. Bodo, pointedly said that he accused the opposition, members who contributed, about wanting to protect people's vices and the effects on the health system. He spoke about the rise in diabetes, hypertension, all coming from alcohol consumption and smoking. And I was like, wow, you all didn't know that all the time? And then finally, what I say is that, remember when the UNC was accusing the PNM of wanting to bring an inheritance tax? The tax on renters is an inheritance tax in a roundabout way, because most of the properties are owned by people who would pass that on to the children. And if they have rental units and people renting, that is a way of having the property generate income to its continued maintenance and I guess the appeal of the family. So look at who brought back look who brought in the inheritance tax in a different roundabout way. Thanks so much, gentlemen, for allowing my perspective. Enjoy your day.
All right, thanks much, Kola. But in a couple of things that he talked about there too, is that when it comes to NCDs and the last administration also was trying to curb those things, because I remember the health minister talking about that, Mr. Dialson talking about that, and the amount of money that we have to spend, and people have to start to live healthier lifestyles. And with every administration, people lose their jobs. People lose their jobs in TSTT and other places too. You know, so I think at every point.
What's the point you're making there, Sir Charles?
What is that?
What's the point you're trying to make there?
I was just responding to a couple of things that the caller said.
PNM get licks for all them decisions.
Yes, and I'm saying to the caller, I was saying to the caller, it's across the board. It's not just with this government. It happened before too.
I can't remember. Maybe you could refresh my memory, Sir Charles. I can't remember 40,000 people roughly.
No, I
month of a government.
Yes, well, the numbers is a whole different thing, but people do lose jobs and have lost jobs. You know, so I'm not disputing the numbers. I'm just showing that it happens.
When people lost their jobs under the last government, they collected plenty money. They collected land. They collected all manner of things. People didn't just lose their job in TSTT. You know, they were sent home with a package. You know. 40,000 people lose their job with nothing to get, not a single cent.
Caller, good morning to you.
Good morning, gentlemen. Norfolk, Virginia, front and center. I must say this is very nice and clear. This call, you all hearing me, right?
Yes, you're coming through very clear this morning.
Must be something I do this morning. Anyway, hey, 3 quick points here. One, Wendell, I want to answer your question when I put in the chat there. I'm glad Mr. Regello is okay. It happens in major cities, you know, when they grab his phone. But I put there, what are your chances of a successful phone snatch or successful robbery in a city like Tallahassee, Florida, or
like Georgia,
Texas?
Like Georgia. I was shocked. I saw your message after, but I was shocked when I went to Georgia. I was in Atlanta, Covington exactly. And I gone in a roti shop and everybody have a gun in the waist and I see the gun. I was shocked.
Now again, but hey, Wendell, please be responsible. I said responsible gun owners, okay? Responsible. And with this legislation you want to pass here, I ain't too sure. I go stop right now before the sycophants on both sides jump down on my throat, okay?
So I understand what your comment was about after.
Yeah, do you know, for example, one of the greatest governors ever in the US? Sorry, I'm being a little biased here, right? He said, like, for example, innocent people who's that? In Florida. so Charles know who he is. Anyway, yeah, he was saying, if you as an innocent person in the middle of a demonstration and so on, right? Innocent people, right? Driving, and then they jump on your vehicle and do all kind of stuff, right? He said, compared to California and New York, where you sit there, be a sitting duck, they pull you out, they beat you, they do whatever, right? Listen, I tell you, in Florida, drive off. You blow your horn, you're driving your car, drive off, you're in full protection, because that's just the same as a stand your ground law, right? That wouldn't happen in New York, I can assure you, or in California. Well, lastly, Wendell, you mentioned something about, look, all my nice clothes, Wendell, is really for parties and, going out on a date and, and so on. I really don't have clothes for funerals. Please don't ever do that again, right? Doing transactions online. No, seriously, because listen, those guys are always 2 steps ahead. Regardless of the steps you have taken, they're still away. You still put yourself in endangerment. But please don't reveal what you did to secure yourself. I understand you're a well-connected fella, but don't ever do that again, okay? Because what I want to ask is this, there. I would like to find out, and you could communicate with me privately. What you do with them dating sites? How you make sure,
Virginia,
tell them to meet you by
Virginia.
To meet you by
Let me save all from this. What's going on here? Oh my word, Miss Sampson, good morning.
I've never used a dating site. I have no reason.
Good morning, Charlie.
Morning,
when
Miss
you win, everybody wins. Wendell, I have good news. Yesterday I went in City Hall and I'm complaining. A year and a half I put my name down here and up to now I can't see Mr. Paris like he went France. Who coming through the door, Mr. Paris? Not out here, come in my office. Well, boy, he had a full sheet. Was Wassa, the lights, the turning point, the wall. He called Wassa right there. He called Giantec right there. So I sit down here waiting to see if the water truck coming. I want the leak fixed. I want the mud washed down the street and I want it paved. Finally get to talk to Mr. Paris.
You should take a picture, a selfie and send it to us.
Anyway, you guys have a good day. Water coming today. I already had my coffee. I'm sitting on my swing with my leg crossed. I'm waiting.
Okay.
All right, Miss Sampson. Well, Miss Sampson, you win because you can see me in government. Now in a position to get to see him.
Your timing was perfect that the mayor would be walking in at the same time you're there. That's great.
Kola, good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Morning, Tina.
I know the time is running so quickly. Richard, you asked, you like everybody else need an explanation for that money that they want to borrow, the billions. But again, it is amazing me. I am hearing on the foreign news, Al Jazeera and news from India and all about, I'm hearing about a mandir. The government is going to build a mandir in Port of Spain. And they could do Hindu tourism. And I forget what they say.
I don't find government should get involved in religion at all. But you know my position on that.
Well, this is what I am saying. What it is.
Government should not be involved in religion.
A certain state. So when I'm hearing this kind of money borrowing and I'm hearing certain emphasis on certain things, I'm wondering what it is, what really taking place in this country, and the kind of taxes. Like you're talking to the bar people, that gentleman this morning, they're not only facing that thing with the machines, you know. When you really total that up, it's a disaster for them. You that taxes on the machines, your light bill going up as a business place, the alcohol going up. If you're renting, the landlord will increase your rent because he won't have to register the building and all that and pay taxes. So where does that leave the average small man? And then again, it's going to whittle down to the loss in jobs. Because as the man say, they would not be able to keep on all the staff that they have, people working there. So again, people are going to go on the breadline. This taxation, when Dr. Rowley and they were doing what they had to do, I couldn't hear my ears from the UNC about the government could tax all your clothes off, all everything. It's tax. Now all of a sudden, the taxes get outrageous now. Because they promise people things that they couldn't. We up to now, we don't know where that money is coming from to fund certain things. So taxation is the way out. Look at the what they talk about, the merit points. They take off the merit points and then you triple the fines for different offenses. Madness.
Zina, thanks much. We're going for the news and we will be back shortly, people. Don't go anywhere. Stay with us.
The news you need, the clarity you deserve. Local, regional, global. This is Net Radio News Now.
This is News Now on New Era TT Radio and Gael Caribbean TV. I'm Derek. Good day. Prime Minister Kamla Prasad Bisesar says taxpayers are facing nearly $100 million in wasted medical assets at the now rededicated Kuva Children's Hospital. Speaking at the ceremony, she described a decade of malicious neglect, with equipment left expired, obsolete, or unused, including over 200 boxed items, major radiology systems like an MRI and CT scanner, and dozens of non-functional machines. She said UDECOT confirmed that $78.2 million is needed to restore the facility, work that began after the new administration took office in April 2025. Since then, operating theaters have been certified, patient services have started, and clinicians have already completed more than 80 surgeries. The hospital also launched its first pediatric specialist clinic, and Prasad Bisesar announced that the Children's Life Fund has been strengthened. Private donors, including the Airports Authority of Trinidad and Tobago, also contributed to the relaunch. The Court of Appeal has overturned the conviction of a 17-year-old boy who was found guilty of using the priority bus route without authorization while driving his father's vehicle. The judges ruled that the master made a legal error by insisting the teen produce a letter of authorization, something not required by law and never entered into evidence. The court clarified that the Highways Act authorizes vehicles, not specific drivers, to use the PBR. Since the teen showed his father's valid PBR permit and said he had permission to drive the vehicle, the burden then shifted to prosecutors to prove otherwise, and they failed to do so. The panel found the conviction fundamentally flawed, noting that supposed conditions printed on the back of the permit were never before the court. The conviction and all related orders have been set aside. Environmental activist Dr. Wayne Kublansing is calling on Prime Minister Kamla Prasad Bisesar to step aside, accusing her of aligning Trinidad and Tobago with what he calls an imperialist U.S. agenda. At a peace vigil in Port of Spain, he condemned recent U.S. military strikes in the region, strikes the UN says violate international law. Kublansing argued the Prime Minister has abandoned diplomacy and is putting the country at risk by supporting U.S. actions. He claimed she has sold out Trinidad and Tobago, damaged relations with Venezuela, and should face international scrutiny. Radio host Abeo Jackson echoed his concerns, urging unity and warning that the country's sovereignty is at stake. Movement for Social Justice leader David Abdullah added that the protests align with regional calls for peace, insisting the Caribbean must remain a zone of peace. Tuco has officially opened registration for its 2026 Carnival competitions. Registration began on December 8th and is available at all Tuco zonal offices, including Woodbrook, Port of Spain, San Fernando, Arima, and in Scarborough, Tobago. Competitions are open to all citizens and naturalized citizens. Senior competitors who are financial members will pay a $100 registration fee, while non-members must pay $500. Members in arrears will pay $150 for each unpaid year. Tuco President Ainsley King says they're still awaiting word from potential sponsors and are seeing signs that it's not business as usual. He said Tuco does have a plan B if needed. Deadlines include Calypso Monarch on January 9th, Extempo and Freestyle Monarch on January 30th, the Road March competition on February 13th, and the Junior Calypso Monarch on January 13th. A U.S. $2.5 million ransom has been demanded for the safe release of 70-year-old Derek Tardieu and his 47-year-old wife Clarabelle. The couple, who live on Manus Island and operate a boatyard in Chaguaramas, was reported missing on Saturday night. Police say a relative received a message around 9:44 p.m. with Tardieu's voice saying, "They have May and want $2.5 million for May release." When Tardieu's son went to their home, the couple was gone and the house was ransacked. Calls to Tardieu's phone went unanswered. Officers from the Anti-Kidnapping Unit and the Homicide Division are now investigating. Finally, in international news, European leaders say now is a critical moment to increase support for Ukraine as pressure grows for a peace deal with Russia. President Volodymyr Zelensky met UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer, France's Emmanuel Macron, and Germany's Friedrich Merz in London to discuss a revised peace plan being shaped with the US. Zelensky said the most anti-Ukrainian points were removed, but major concerns remain, especially over proposals for Ukraine to pull out of eastern regions, an idea he rejects. He insisted any deal must include strong security guarantees to prevent future attacks. European leaders stressed unity with the US, but expressed caution about parts of the proposal. Zelensky later traveled to Brussels as talks continue, while fighting on the ground remains intense. And that's news at this time.
That was News Now. Stay informed with New Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
Charmflair Auto Services Limited, your one-stop auto repair shop, located at number 1 Industrial Lane, Charmflair, right opposite the brewery on the Eastern Main Road. Yes, we do it all. Repairs to all makes and models, from your everyday sedan to SUVs, light trucks, pickups, and panel vans. We're also the sole distributors of Davante tires, certified VTS inspection station, plus a wide range of services: oil change, front end and suspension repairs, tune-ups, tire alignment, batteries, electrical work, radiator and cooling system, AC repairs, and accessories galore. We offer pickup and drop-off service too. Call us today at 662-6545 or 662-6572. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Charmflair Auto Services Limited, number 1 Industrial Lane, Charmflair. We do it all.
It's Christmas. Can't do it without black cake, homemade bread, sweet bread, pone, pastel, and punchacram. Get it at Val's Kitchen in Dabadi. To place your order, call 758-0148. Yes, delivery can be arranged. Val's Kitchen, Dabadi.
Ho, ho, ho! This Christmas, small businesses This one's just for you. Get your brand, your product, your business in front of thousands every single day on New Era TT Radio, NETT Radio, and Gael Caribbean TV. And here's the gift you've been waiting for. Radio and television advertising has never been more affordable anywhere else. We are talking unbelievable real rates. Prices no one else can offer you for primetime slots that put your business right where your customers are watching and listening. So call us today at 299-5156 and turn your Christmas into real results and real profits with affordable advertising so you too can say Merry Christmas.
S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rumbox, drinking out of the box.
Looking for pet supplies that wouldn't bite? Visit Bow Wow Supply Limited, your friendly family-owned pet store at the corner of Cane Farm Avenue and 5th Street West, Cane Farm, Trin City.
We offer fabulous prices,
great service, and a wide range of foods, treats, toys, grooming products, and accessories. Everything your pet needs in one place. We are open Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Sundays from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Coming today, Bow Wow Supply Limited, Cane Farm Avenue and 5th Street West, Cane Farm, Trin City. Your pet's friendly place. Call us at 640-7184.
Of course, our guest tomorrow will in fact be Mariano Brown. He has agreed. Mariano said he did what I have done on occasions. Type a message and leave it in draft and not press send. So he said that's what happened. He did respond to me, but he never sent it. You know, so he will do the program tomorrow morning, God willing, and we'll get into that issue of the finance bill and the increase of the foreign borrowing from 55 million to 45 billion. I can't see why anybody could do that and not explain it. And how the country not asking for an explanation. It is just crazy what's happening in Trinidad and Tobago. It's like everybody just comatose and they're just waiting and hoping. I see Dr. Wayne Kublal Singh has spoken out finally against the Prime Minister in terms of that US issue. But I mean, we've operated for an entire year, and I don't ever remember this. Correct me if I'm wrong. Under a state of emergency for an entire year, we have operated a country under a state of emergency. So I don't know if that's why people are afraid to speak out. You know what I mean? But
including the opposition. Does that include the opposition?
What?
Afraid to speak out.
Well, yeah. You get bus head. You get your head bus.
No, I mean, you know, when you say we're under a year for the state of emergency, what year are you talking about?
This year, for this entire year, we've operated under a state of emergency. It started on December 30th or 31st last year.
With PNM.
Forget.
But that expired, so there was a period there wasn't any.
Which very small period during the election.
But there was a period. It was broken. Was not a year continuously.
And it spanned both administrations.
Huh?
And it spanned both administrations.
Yeah, but I know it's part. So Charles, I don't feel you'll be trying to defend this government so much like you don't me studying.
No, I'm not defending anybody. I'm saying from what you say. When you say when you say we went a whole year without under a state of emergency.
I never referred to a government. I said we've gone. The country has gone whole year.
Yeah, that's the country.
Yeah.
I ain't speaking about the UNC government.
Do you think, Wendell, this is a PNM question.
I can answer on behalf of the PNM again. Eh?
You can answer as a PNM person.
Go ahead.
Do you think that the PNM is articulating the concerns that citizens have with a lot of those measures, a lot of the different measures, clearly and aggressively enough?
That's an easy answer, Richard. Some ask me easy questions. The simple answer to that is no. No, they're not. Calling these press conferences every few days and so on. No, they're not. And I suspect too that is why Dr. Rowley, as a former prime minister and who would have had retired, is also doing his press conferences too, because he is clearly probably not satisfied with the way the party is treating with some of these issues. So he is attempting to treat with it as a former prime minister and former political leader. I suspect that's what's happening. The PNM has never been good with PR and dealing with issues, Richard, whether out of government or in government. The PNM has never been good with that. All right? So that's a given. And now we have a leader who is clearly not as aggressive as the past leaders we would have had. So she has her own cross to bear in terms of that issue, her own characteristic. You understand?
But who are the proxies? Because usually parties usually have proxies. UNC would have certain people who would be echoing and validating their points of views aggressively. Who are those people for the PNM?
I don't know.
Are there any? That's what I'm trying. So it may not necessarily be the politicians, but sometimes you'll have other people that are aggressively. So there are people who will aggressively defend the UNC and their positions in terms of whatever it is, whether they're in opposition or in government. And similarly, the PNM sometimes has very vocal bloggers or vocal people who will come before and say X, Y, Z is the case. I'm saying, who are those people? That's what I'm trying to find.
Well,
we don't know who they are.
Well, people I could call Darian Marcel's name. He is identified as PNM. He was a former PNM representative. So he's doing an excellent job on the radio. I don't know that Rhoda Barrett has ever said I am PNM, but Rhoda is also very aggressive in terms of putting out those issues in the public domain. I don't know that there's anybody else really. None of the other members of parliament are doing it effectively. You understand? None of the current bunch. Maybe Stuart Young is doing it on his Facebook page. You understand? But he has refused to do interviews on radio because I've reached out to him a few times. You know what I mean? But no, there's no one. The PNM has always been pissed for that. I remember having these discussions since back in the day with Jerry Nares, who was PRO. You understand?
All right, let me ask you another question. Is the PNM, there's another question, because I didn't listen to the interview with Calvin Morris yesterday. So is the PNM activating its well-oiled machinery, and nobody can fault the PNM for having a well-oiled election machinery? Are they activating that machinery in Tobago, and are they moving towards casting the THA elections as a referendum on the government? I know we kind of touched on it earlier, but I'm asking, is there a deliberate policy to go in that direction, or there is none?
I don't know, Richard, because we asked Kelvin things along those lines yesterday, and I was asking him, what is the party? How is the party responding to what's happening in Tobago? Because we would have had a leader for the last 10 years who was a Tobagonian. So he had a vested interest. How is the party now dealing with Tobago? I haven't heard anything. He said, well, it's left to be seen what's coming out of the leadership mouth in terms of Tobago, and how are they going to tackle the Tobago House of Assembly election? Because when
you say leadership, are you talking about Penelope Beckles Robinson, or are you talking about Ansel Dennis?
Both. I'm speaking about both.
Okay.
Because both of them have a similar characteristics. They're kind of quiet. You understand? They don't have that aggressive personality. They don't. You understand? So someone has to do it. I don't know who.
And who you think is best positioned to do it if you had to choose?
Out of the two of them?
No, generally, whoever's available.
I think the aggressive people we have inside of that parliament there, in terms of getting their point of view across to a wide cross section, is in fact Stuart Young. He's one. You understand? But again, he is placed in a very awkward position because of what happened at the end of the last term. You understand? Dominic Romain has a heavy following. You understand? But I don't know how aggressive he can be. I don't gather that he's an aggressive person.
Why say he has a heavy following? What do you mean by that?
He has a heavy following on social media because he would have been doing blogging quite leading up to him being a candidate, right?
Okay, I don't know him well at all.
Yeah, no, he is well known on social media, but I don't know that he's an aggressive person. Marvin Gonzalez can to me have that potential, but I don't. Richard, the politics, as I said, has taken such a toll on me that sometimes I wonder, why am I even coming on this show to do this show, to talk about what's happening in the country and what's happening, because I feel like I'm speaking to, how I should put it, to the wall sometimes. That's how I feel. You know what I mean? So it's tiring, but I soldier on for the sake of myself, because I ain't doing this for nobody. I ain't getting no benefit from it. You understand? So I don't know how KNM is going to fare in Tobago. I hope the Tobago people, because Tobago people are a different bunch of people. When they fed up you, they say nothing and then they deal with you, right? Which is what they did in 2013 when they voted out Ashwood Jack and them. They lost every seat, including Ashwood Jack. I remember going to Tobago during that campaign and people were quite, yellow was all over the place because UNC was in power and Ashwood Jack was in power. They had yellow, UNC was backing him 100%. They had yellow, and people were quietly saying, we taking on that yellow, we go in and vote them out. And so said, so done. I had bet Martin Joseph back then, and I lost my bet. He said, well, now we're going to win all 12 seats. So said, so done. I don't know if the same thing is happening again on the ground in Tobago, where they're saying, you see this joining of Farley and the UNC, which it appears he's mollycoddling with them. We are going to teach them a lesson. I don't know if that's going to happen. That's why I asked Kelvin also too yesterday, who are the PNM people? What are they saying? What are they doing? It's only 4 of them known. Out of the 15, 11 of them are brand new. How that will play out in Tobago in terms of the election campaign, we'll see. Which is why I said earlier on too, I suspect that's why Farley may have reached out to Watson Duke, because he needs somebody like Watson Duke. A rabble rouser, to stir up all kind of thing. He needs somebody like that on his side.
When you spoke to Calvin yesterday, was the reader an issue?
Yes.
Political issue. A political issue that voters are upset about it.
And they may very well, as I say, they may quietly deal with it in the election. We'll see.
Yeah. All right. Well, this is where we ended on the breakfast show this morning. A little bit additional conversation there. I want to thank our guests for this morning, Mr. Moonasar and Mr. Stephen, for the interview that we had with both of them.
You are welcome, yes.
Well done.
Maybe we can interview somebody from the UNC next. So Charles, your game?
You want me to find somebody from the UNC there? Is that what it's saying?
No, you.
Assuming, you know what they say about assume, right?
Okay.
Oh, good.
Okay, well, anyway, this is good.
In the morning. You see why I get up? You see why I be getting up and waiting for 6 o'clock to reach in the morning? Because I told you.
Oh, good. Anyway, New Era TT Radio continues on newerattradio.com and New Era TT Radio on TuneIn, which also connects to your smart devices, so you can listen to the great and fantastic content throughout the day after this show comes to an end, which is shortly. Have a fantastic day, people. It is Tuesday morning. Have a great day. Of course, it's the last day of school, last week of school. I think most schools, the last day is Thursday. So have a fantastic day. You know, I know Christmas is in the air. People are getting a little bit more excited about it. And of course, you know, people, I find there are less people in hardware this year, though, than usually that you would see. Because I've gone to a couple of them, you know, and I find even though there are people, I just find it's a little less in my perspective. I'm not
There
sure.
are some long lines in Price Mart yesterday.
Yeah. Well, Price Mart always, depending on the time of day you go, depending on the time of day you go. I learned to read Price Mart to know what times to go.
When, Richard, I thought I was going at the right time yesterday.
What time was that, Wendell?
Just around midday. Just before. Just
Let me tell you, either go earlier, just before 12, or you could go like after 7 p.m. See, I just said it on public radio, so now those two periods are going to be crowded.
Crowded same way.
I went just before midday, and the lines were long.
Yeah, but sometimes it depends. And you know, Christmas time, everything kind of ramps up. So anyway, we'll see how it all goes. But have a fantastic day, people. Whatever you're doing, remember to smile and laugh. It's great for your health. I want to thank, by the way, because I wasn't here Monday because I went liming. I went to see, by the way, I went to see Necessary Arts Christmas show on Sunday at Central Bank Auditorium, which and was really good. Very entertaining, very Christmassy. So really, really good. So Penny and all.
It was a musical?
No. It's just different. It's like the graduating class, acting class. So it's young actors, children like 6 years old and above, and then you have a teen section, and then you have adults. So it was a mixture depending on what the stories were throughout the 2 hours or so that you were there. So it was very entertaining. And of course, afterwards, you know, a lot of the regular crew went. You know, Deborah Gumason, Zumari, Aiden, Sean, myself, and Penny, and all of us. We met after at our usual hangout, Brooklyn Bar.
Lord. Well, I know. Once you call them names, I don't know what's going on already.
So we just are out there, you know, having a good time. Because, you know, we have nothing else planned before Christmas unless we decide to meet up before Christmas. So a lot of times we're saying Merry Christmas in advance and stuff like that. So I wanted to also thank people who came out to Sapa on Saturday night to the show. You don't leave foul to watch. God, thank you so much for supporting theater. We do not take it for granted. We know you have choices in your entertainment, even if it is to go by a bar and drink and wine. That's entertainment for some people. So thank you for coming out. We appreciate it, and we appreciate all of the people who supported theater for 2025. Thank you so much. Anyway, have a fantastic day, and remember to smile and laugh. It's great for your health.
All right, folks, have an absolutely wonderful day. Remember to let go and let God.
Yep. And just in case you didn't know, this has been The Breakfast Show coming to you live out of the wonderful Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Yep.
Yeah.